Tim obviously got off to such a great start offensively, in the first half, and then things really stalled there in the third quarter. I know you guys were trying to get the run going there. I think all three drives you ran on first down in the third quarter. What'd you see there in the second half? Why you guys weren't able to have that carry over from the first half?
Yeah, I really do think that's the story of the game, was just our lack of execution offensively in the third quarter. One of the things we felt good about what we were doing in the run game in the first half, mixing it up. Thought we had found some good stuff there, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to keep our defense off the field. And we thought, if we're throwing incomplete passes, there's a risk of us going too fast and trying to get the run game going so that we can try to slow down a little bit, keep our defense rested there. And it's just our lack of execution, a couple of fumbled snaps and crowd noise, and just we didn't come out in the second half with the right energy, with the right, probably with the right plan from my end too. I'll take the blame on that. Our third quarter just wasn't what it needed to be, and it starts with me and our staff making sure we do a better job coming out in the second half. But I think that's really the story of the game for us offensively, was just our lack of execution there in the third quarter.
What would you see from Hank tonight? And obviously he did all he could to battle you back there, but that one interception there when you guys were driving, obviously was maybe would like to have that one back, obviously. But what'd you think of that and Hank's play tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was great in the first half, man. I thought he was handling the crowd noise and getting us in the right protections, and he audibled some plays and made some really good decisions, and saw some real growth from him. I know he's been a guy that's taken a lot of sacks and taken a lot of hits, and I don't know if we got sacked tonight. I don't think we did, but I thought he stayed clean for the most part. And like I said, that third quarter execution, we all got to take a little bit of blame of that. And then that last drive, that's just I know he wants that one back. We're in a situation there where he probably could have ran and got the first down or got us in a real fourth and manageable. And that's just, he's trying to make a play. And, the big thing I wanted him to know is at the end of the day, he's trying to make a play there. And I know he wants that one back, but I go back to the third quarter and just our lack of execution offensively that allowed them to get back in the game. And that's where we really got to look at ourselves and get better.
Tim, I think you just touched on this, but I'm going to ask the question. In the first half, you guys had some success running your fast-paced tempo, going to the air. Third, fourth quarter, you guys really slowed the tempo down. Was that intentional?
It wasn't intentional to slow the tempo down necessarily, but you can't really get the tempo started unless you get off to a good start, unless you get some yards there on first down. And so I think the first drive, we fumbled the snap, and now it's 2nd and 15. You can't really go into tempo when that happens. And then we thought we had some run game possibly we could hit there on first down, and kept getting stoned at the line of scrimmage. So it just took us out of our tempo. I know one of the drives we actually started with all of our tempo calls, but on the first play of the drive, one of their defensive linemen got hurt, and it made us have to stop and wait for them to get lined up. So we just could never get the tempo really going there in the third quarter, and that's a big part of what we do. And if we can't get in a rhythm like that, you can see kind of how things stall out. But again, I'll take full blame for that. Just we need to do a better job of getting off to a better start there in the third quarter.
You mentioned the lack of execution in the second half. I'm curious, what does that mean? Is that guys not blowing off the ball in the line of scrimmage, guys missing play calls? I mean, specifically, what does that mean?
I think it's more like fundamental execution, like our technique execution just up front. They were doing a better job than us just with their hands and getting off blocks, and just some of the run calls that we could have executed a little bit better there. And I could have called a better run play maybe in those situations to help us out. So I don't think it was like no one missed a call or anything, but you guys saw the fumbled snap, at the end of the first half when we're trying to run the clock down so they don't get that drive. And then we get the fumbled snap to start the second half. Those type of execution things that we can just do a lot better. And those things are going to kill drives and stall you out.
Tim, this was Andy's debut as a head coach. Your debut as the offensive coordinator at Boise State. How badly did you guys just want it all to go, perfect today, come down here to UCF and get a win? And on top of that, how hard was it to run the ball tonight too? I mean, it seemed like a struggle outside of Andrew's run that he broke off.
Yeah, they got a great defensive front. We knew that, and we were going to have to try some different things to get the run game going, and that's the strength of their defense. And but it's important for us to run the ball. We all know that we need to establish a run game. We can't just drop back and throw the ball every play, and so that hurt us. Going back to the first question, we all really wanted to do it for Andy. it wasn't anything other than that. I just being here with him and working for him. I just really respect him and love working for him. And probably the thing that hurts the most is we couldn't get that for him, because he deserves it with how hard he works and what he's done with the program here. So that's the thing that hurts the most right now is, wins and losses are going to come playing football, but he deserves a win tonight, and we really want to do that for him. So yeah, it hurts.
Andy said that Khalil Shakir was basically on a rep count tonight. Was he fighting to get on the field those last couple of drives? Because it seemed like he actually did play a little bit on those last couple of drives. And how hard is that when you don't have, Khalil Shakir as you would wish to use him? Because when he was on the field, he certainly seemed to make a difference for your offense.
Yeah, that's tough. Not having George and not having Khalil at full strength. We had some guys up front too that didn't play tonight that we really could have used to just having our full strength. But that's not an excuse. At the end of the day, every team's young, every team's thin, every team's beat up. We got to figure out a way to get it done. And the guys that were out there did a great job. Obviously Shaq was dying to get out there, but it's a long season, and for us to push an injury like that any further was just it was risky. But when he was out there, obviously he was amazing, and we're a lot better when he's got the ball in his hand. That's for sure.
And thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Will, we'll go to you to wrap things up.
Tim, what'd you see out of UCF's defensive line that sort of gave you some fits in this one?
We knew that they obviously had some talented edge rushers, and we were going to have to try to handle those guys. And with the crowd noise, they're going to be able to get off the ball quick. And so we're trying to change the cadence and do as much as we can so they can't get a jump off the ball. But, they did a great job getting off blocks and creating some penetration in the run game, so we couldn't really get it started. And I thought we handled them for the most part in the pass protection and kept them off Hank as best as we could. But at the end of the day, our lack of ability to run the ball early on downs put us behind the chains, especially there in the third quarter. And that's not a recipe for good offensive football. And like I said, I think that's what got us there at the end.
Hank completed his first 9 passes to 9 different receivers. What's the biggest key to building off that for week 2?
I think that's, when the offense is flowing, that's really what it's supposed to look like. I know you guys were probably sitting there like, I can't wait to see what this looks like. And that's really what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be spreading the ball around, getting the ball to different guys in different spots, and everyone getting involved in the offense, and the quarterback getting the ball out of his hand and playing with tempo. And I was really pleased with the start, and I thought he handled that really well. But as things get bogged down, that's where we get out of rhythm, and that's where probably some of those incompletions came. And so I know I'm really proud of him. I thought he played his butt off, and I know he's bummed out about that last drive, but he should hold his head up high and come back next week, and we'll get ready for the next one. And I'm sure he'll keep getting better as he gets more comfortable with all this.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Will.
All right, Tim, appreciate it. We'll see you back home.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tim.